Welcome to the Way We See It podcast.
where we talk about politics, social justice, and culture.
I'm Tati,
And I'm Ariana.
and we are your host of this podcast. Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 48, week 8 at this point. I'm proud of ourselves because we haven't
missed a week.
missed an episode yet. Yeah, because we at least have 1 or 2 weeks in the season where we miss it.
Yeah.
But we're doing well so far, so we're pushing through.
Very consistent.
Yeah, despite our
crazy
hectic
life schedules.
Yep. And it's so funny too because we're saying we're going through so much right now, but it's we're not really at the same time too.
Well,
to us it is. But I mean
maybe talking about other people outside looking in.
yeah. They're that's nothing. No. We're going through it, okay? We're running very low in sleep at this point. My mom, because they went away this weekend, she was like, why don't you invite Ariana over to sleep over? And so I was like, I don't think Ariana will want to sleep over on a weekend when she's finally able to relax. She's out every day, she's working. If I was her, the one thing I'd want to do is just be in my own bed and just unwind, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, okay, but aren't you gonna be lonely? I'm like, yeah, but that's not the point. Ariana's gonna
Okay, so we definitely looking up tomorrow then.
Oh,
will you work tomorrow?
Yeah, but I work 3 to close it.
Yeah, you're gonna be tired after that.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're going to do it before or after. We can do lunch, maybe.
Yeah.
It's Saturday, so it doesn't matter. And payday was today, so that check really hitting today.
Weekend.
But yeah, make sure you follow our social media. If you don't know our socials, you can check us out on Google at The Way We See It with a C. And instantly when you type us in on Google, you'll find our social media and all the other platforms that we're streaming on. And if you're not listening to us through the podcast apps, you can listen to us or watch us on YouTube. And if you're watching, hello! Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And hit that bell button so you're notified when we have a new episode out. And yeah, so basically, right now we're continuing with last week's episode that we did, which I feel like last week's episode was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. It feels like a long time ago, even though it was just literally 8 days ago.
My brain is actually hurting right now because it's really trying to comprehend the last week because it doesn't even feel like it's been a week at this point. We should talk about that maybe for a free talk episode or because
memory. But my memory's definitely been ever since the pandemic. The memory's been I can't remember stuff from last year. I literally can't remember stuff.
What?
Stuff that happened last year. There's certain things that I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. Right now my body's scratching just because I'm tired. But in general, since the pandemic, no, I'm lying. Since my junior year, my memory has always been really bad. But then it started getting better. And then I want to say maybe around this time last year is when it started getting bad again. Because it's all these days are really blending in together. And even though we're not home as much as we used to be, it's still
yeah.
We're doing the same thing we did the week before at this point. Maybe with one change if we're going out with friends, but, you know.
And also not sleeping that much is I know that affects my memory.
Yeah, I know Sunday after tomorrow's shift, Sunday would be knocked. I'm literally gonna wake up probably at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not gonna lie. No, I'm so serious. But it's not because usually I wake up in the morning now. But if I'm lacking sleep from the week, my body will use that time to recharge. You'll still be up very early.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ariana will be running on 4 hours of sleep.
Sleeping for me is waking up at 10.
Even if you're running on 3 hours of sleep, your body will just actually wake up. Let's just say
No. I'll sleep maybe until 12.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's how mine started. That's a long sleep for me. But just recently I slept until 2 o'clock. It was pretty bad. Anyways, back to this week's topic. So we're continuing from last week where we talked about the cost of living in the U.S. and what exactly did we talk about again?
Well, we talked about how a lot of people lost jobs like during the pandemic and how that affected a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
We literally like went through like the numbers of how many people lost jobs and like
The
how
stats.
people weren't able to afford like necessities, housing. Like food, etc. That's what we talked about, and we talked about our own like experience of like how we didn't have a job during the pandemic and how that worked out with unemployment, things like that.
Well, I really didn't remember any of that until you started saying. I was like, wow, nice. But yeah, so we're continuing that thing. We're going to get into wages specifically and gas prices because I know that's hitting everybody. There's someone I used to go to high school with. And I don't know if he's for Biden or against Biden, I don't know. But literally every time he posts, it's always about the gas. And he's always like things Biden.
It's not his fault. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
And then his fault.
I was at that gas station the other day too, and right next to the regular pump button is Biden points into the gas price sticker, and it was like, you did this. I was like, wow.
Looking for
yeah,
so that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So now I'll just get into like wages, the minimum wage here in New York, and then overall. So federally, the minimum wage is $7.25 per hour, and that's for like any person that's covered by the Fair Labor Standards Act. Basically, if you're not covered by the books, I guess it would be different.
If you're not covered by what?
You know how people say I get paid by the books? Like they're not, they don't have the proper paper. Like they don't get like W-2 from that job.
Oh, you mean off the books?
Off the books.
Yeah. You said to the books. I was like, okay.
But here in New York, as of December 31st, 2016, the first series of wage increases went into effect after the 15 Minimum Wage Act was passed.
Oh.
And it's important to know that the $15 minimum wage depends like where you live here in New York. So in the city it's $15 flat, and around Westchester it's $14 per hour, and then the rest of New York is $12.50. And each year they Long Island and
the city
remainder of New York and the city too, they increase a little bit each year.
Mm-hmm. It's like a couple of cents, so it adds to it. So, I know for me, my personal experience, being here upstate and then also being in Long Island. So when I worked here, it's crazy that you said this started in 2016 because I started my first job through the summer youth employment in New York City. I started that in 2016. I was 15 years old and I was a camp counselor. And my starting pay was $10 an hour. And I was getting bank, y'all. I was getting $600 a week. A week. At 15 years old.
Wow.
I used that money to save up on my computer.
And you're 15, like you don't get that much tax taken on.
No, I got the taxes taken.
But you don't get as much taken on like as older people.
Honestly, I don't really remember, but I do know that I was working from like 7 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night at that job. And that was Monday through Friday that I did that as a camp counselor. So that check was hitting, and that was only $10 an hour. And that was when I lived in Queens. And then I moved upstate. And so after that first job, I didn't work again for a few years until I moved upstate. So now I was 17. And here upstate in the town that we lived in at that time, I want to say 2017, 2018, the pay was $11 an hour at the mall. And then after a year, when January hit, it was $11.75. So now it's only at $12.50 since a year ago, you know. So, and then me being in Long Island, I get paid $14 an hour right now. So, yeah.
When I worked minimum wage for retail, I think the highest I reached was 11 something. I never reached.
Really?
I don't think I even reached 12. I think my last year of retail, I reached 12.
I remember when I worked at the mall here, and I was getting paid that $11.75, and I remember asking for a raise just to $12, and my boss literally laughed in my face. She's like, haha, you're so funny, do you think that's actually gonna happen? And I was like, haha, okay, then I quit.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah, right? Like, I got bills to pay. I was getting paid $175 every 2 weeks. That's nothing. Imagine me getting paid that right now for the bills that I have. No. No thank you. But, so thoughts on wage increase. Do you think, in general, $15 minimum wage is enough? Say what you said. Say what you said.
Hell no.
She said, hell no.
That's not enough. Like, I remember, like, when they were pushing for this, the $15 minimum wage to pass. But, you know, we can't ask for, like, 30 an hour. We gotta start small. But
yeah.
I think $15 is not enough.
Yeah.
If you work, we'll get into, like, some examples, but if you're working full time, 40 hours a week, earning 15 an hour,
it's not enough.
That's why people, like I said in the last episode, they have to work multiple jobs, and then they can't enjoy life themselves because they're too busy working.
Yeah, I think that's always thinking outside the box because, like, sometimes you generally say things that don't even come to mind, but it's like you're right at the same time. So,
wait, what do you think? Is it enough? 15?
No, I don't even get paid $15 an hour. $14 is nothing for me. I do the math sometimes just to, you know, imagine how it would feel like to even get paid at $15 an hour, and it's like that by itself is enough. I would still need maybe 2 jobs, and it's like it's different if you're maybe working 2 shifts a week, not working that much. But if you're literally working 40 hours, like a week, and you're getting paid only $15, that's nothing, for real. And it depends on the week, but sometimes I work from 20 plus to 40 hours, it depends. So, you know, I don't think it's enough. I don't think so.
$15 per hour is nice for, like, a teenager that doesn't have to, like, pay bills or like they don't have to help their family, like, pay rent and stuff like that. $15 an hour is nice.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in high school.
If I was in high school right now,
and you had no, like, bill responsibilities, and you were gonna do is, like, pay for your own recreational stuff, that's fire.
Yeah, facts. So you're like, oh, don't worry about dinner, guys. I got it. That's it.
But that's not the case. Everybody that works in a minimum wage job is a teenager that doesn't have responsibilities.
But even so, I know a lot of teenagers that I went to high school with that did have a lot of responsibilities at a young age to their families. And like I said, when I was working and it was $11 an hour up here, and I know there's people literally working too, also like with $11 an hour, and they actually have to support their families as a teenager in high school. It's like, it's so sad because it literally is not enough no matter how hard they worked. So. Anyways, and then do you want to say
so an example to show that, like, $15 an hour is not enough. So if someone lives in New York City and they work full time, 40 hours a week, they would receive about
$31,200 before taxes.
Okay. Oh. They would receive about $31,000 before taxes. Now, with New York City being the second most expensive city in the United States, this person will not be able to afford, like, basic necessities that we talked about in our last episode. And to actually afford a normal, like, standard 2-bedroom apartment in New York City, one needs to make at least $32.53 per hour, working 40 hours per week. Or if they can work 110 hours per week, which is unreal. But there's people that do it with the current state minimum wage. So, yeah. That's it.
Yeah. I'm like doing the math in my head soon. I was just like, yeah. I saw a TikTok yesterday, and it was a girl. She's like, I live in the Bronx. And she was like, get me famous so I can get out of the Bronx. And she's like showing a car next to her that got broken into or something. And the comments were like there was one funny one that said, oh, you'll be alright. Like, just a New Yorker to a New Yorker. And then there was people out of New York, they were saying, oh, if you think that's bad, like, imagine Texas. They were trying to compare, like, which states were worse than the other.
I don't like people do that, comparing struggle. Like, the person feels that was a struggle for them, then that's a struggle.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to compare.
And then the people were saying, oh, like, you have enough to move if you live in New York City. Huh? I was like, and that one comment wasn't the only comment that I saw like that. And then someone I was seeing the arguments in the comments too. Like people are like, that's not true at all. Like plus she's young. Like who's to say that's her money? Like she can't just move out. Like what if our family's the one working? Like you know how hard it is to move out on your own in New York City. On top of that, it's just like everything's just so expensive. Like we're lucky that at least in some parts of the upstate, it's a bit more affordable for like at least a house. But still, in general, like let's just say you get a house up here, it's still a lot to maintain.
Oh yeah, the maintaining part is like.
Yeah. Because then you still have the rent, then you still have to pay electricity, the water bill, Wi-Fi,
the heat.
Yeah,
the heat is hella expensive.
That's
not just food.
Give me like.
But the heat you have to know is electric. It's not like the actual gas. The one that actually heats up the house. That shit is expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be like, okay, I'm warm now. Turns it off. But no, literally though. But it's like it's not as easy as it sounds, and not comparing us to other states, countries, whatever. But it's just like it's a fact. Like sometimes to even move out requires a lot of work. Either you're finding yourself a really good job and everything that pays you enough that you still have some leftover money after the necessities for yourself, and then maybe you're able to save over.
Yeah.
But if not, then it's like, you know, what's that minimum wage or little like 17? What do you think about $17?
An hour? That's cool, but like, it depends like how much
Hours?
Like bills that person has to pay.
Mm.
Like if they have to support her entire family,
Yeah.
how much are their bills, how much debt they're in. I think it depends. Some people might be all agree with 17, but
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was gonna say too. Like my boyfriend, I say he works a retail job. He works at a chocolate shop, right? But still, he's a cashier, puts out chocolate, whatever. But still, like, he gets paid $18 an hour. Works 6 days a week, 5 days maybe. And I know that you'd be hitting for $18 an hour, working all those hours.
damn.
But it's like, and he's in the city. So it's like, why can't I get paid that? And I do more at my job than he does. Not to compare and contrast, but still, isn't that so crazy that jobs that literally require less of you, you get paid more?
It'd be like that.
Yeah. I mean, my job does come with good benefits, but still, those benefits don't come to the paycheck. Okay? Like, those benefits ain't paying the bills, okay? So, but, that's funny. But continuing, do you have any last thoughts towards that though?
Yeah, overall, I don't think $15 an hour is not enough.
Okay.
If the inflation keeps increasing at a higher rate than the minimum wage is increasing, then we ain't getting nowhere.
We're gonna be standstill.
Yeah.
So continuing, the wages increase in 2019 to 2020. In 2019 to 2020, wages increased by 6.9% for the typical median workers. Why? Because more than 80% of the 9.6 million jobs lost in 2020 were jobs held by workers in the bottom 25% of the wage distribution. The wage increase is not something we should celebrate because many low-income workers lost their jobs during the pandemic. So in addition to this, the super rich, the top 1%, I was going to say person again, have been benefiting from the current economy according to a recent study from the National Bureau of Economic Research. In other words, the study estimates billionaires are making more money now than ever. How? Because 1, the top 1% gets majority of their income from stocks and not from actually working a job. 2, top 1% owns half of all stocks in the U.S., which is crazy. And then 3, the essential workers who continue to work during the pandemic, but the same poverty wages were working for companies stockholders had invested in. So examples like Amazon, DoorDash, Uber Eats.
That shit was booming last year, bro.
Yo!
Shit was booming.
I can't tell you how much. You ever go into your bank account app and they give you like a spending summary? It's like food, shopping, whatever. Have you ever seen
I've seen it.
My food, off the charts. That's a whole paycheck and more. Like, that's a whole rack. especially with the DoorDash extra fees. But yeah, like we said before, I definitely do think that the wage increase is now something that we should celebrate because like it really took millions and millions of people to lose their jobs and really like lose their lives for the wage to even increase. And on top of that, I personally think that maybe it has like something that affected that like that caused this to finally happen is maybe people that have been working there long term, they're like, oh, if you don't give me a raise, then I'm out. Because like even now there's like a shortage of workers everywhere. It's like if you value me as a worker and you really need me, give me a raise. Because right now it's hard times for everybody and everybody needs that bread somehow, some way. Because even me in retail, like there isn't one retail store I haven't come across that doesn't say help wanted. And on top of that, it may have to do with the pay, but it may also have to do with how people treat other people at work sometimes. So my store, we spoke about actually putting up a sign in front of our store that says, oh, please treat our associates with kindness. There's a shortage of workers in the U.S. So we value our workers.
Yeah, I definitely see that. When I go to restaurants or stores, it takes a long time for the food to come out and all that, and they apologize. So sorry, like we don't have many workers, especially when unemployment was booming, when everybody was getting unemployment. Nobody wanted to work. Everything was like extra slow. But now like that's taken away. Like more people have been working, but not the same rate as before.
Yeah, I remember I was still getting unemployment, maybe an extra $100 when I did go back to work because I only used to work 2 days at that time. But still, I went from $600 to like $300.
Yeah.
And then, but prior to that, one of my coworkers was like, yeah, they're not coming back to work. When our manager told me, was like, guess what, guys, we're finally come back to work. 6 months later, nobody responded besides like 2 people. One of them being me. I was dumb. But
yeah,
it's crazy because like you would think that the pandemic is kind of like over with now, even though it's really not, because people still die, people still get tested positive every day, literally from COVID still, and the world is trying to get back to normal, but there's just so many things happening, whether we know it or not, and it's like something as subtle as even things just increasing, like gas increasing, food prices increasing, even shoes in the store are increasing by like $10. Saw a pair of shoes the other day that are in my store, and they were $39 one day and they were $49 the next day because they changed the prices.
Damn. It wasn't on sale before either.
It's not clearance, it's on the floor,
price,
yeah. So it's like there's a shortage of everything. The world is also dying, global warming. It's like crazy. You see how many, like up right here, it's not that bad, but if you go up to the Palisades, there's so many like trees with leaves still. They're barely, I've seen so many trees that are still
noticed
so
that
green.
like when I go to the city for work, like there's still leaves on the trees, and up here like they're falling.
Yeah.
They've been falling for a while. But it's like fall didn't even hit the city.
The trees in Long Island they're done. Like they're winter trees where there are no leaves, nothing. Here you still have some leaves. I have some trees in my backyard at my mom's house. Usually they're empty by now. I take a picture every season of them with how they change. But like one of them has nothing. The other few have like it's like they haven't even lost their leaves yet. It's like what the heck is going on?
Yeah, I have noticed that less leaves have been falling because usually by this time of the year my driveway is full of leaves.
I was thinking
like,
on the way out.
Full that we have to like blow dry, what's it called, that machine? The blower?
Yeah.
For the trick-or-treaters, or else they won't be able to come out because they're like well, the leaves crunching and everything, but we don't have to do that this year.
These little kids running like that. Oh my god. Wait, I think you're leaving on Sunday. So
yeah, but we're gonna be here. We plan to be back by 3-4 o'clock. So.
No, so it's still gonna help the kids. Maybe I'll stop by and get some candy. Actually, wait, no, I won't do that. But yeah, guys, that's that part. And then we didn't say that part. The poor get poorer,
and the rich get richer, and that's a fact. Like,
before the pandemic,
during the pandemic, and now, the shit's still the same.
Yeah. Even, and it's so sad too, because you really see a lot of people that are considered middle class that still say we're poor because, like, you're just, the middle class basically is just there above the line of poor, which is like homelessness. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you have enough to like stand on your 2 feet for now, but it's like, you're struggling.
Yeah, like those are the people that live paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. Like their paychecks are just enough.
Yeah.
They just enough for everything that they have to pay for in them.
Yeah, and the rich. And this is that part again. So now getting to the gas shortage. If you own a car, like me, you definitely have seen, well, like us, you definitely have seen how the gas prices increase drastically. I swear to God, I should swear to God, sorry. My parents would die when I say that. But 3 weeks ago, the gas was maybe $3.05, $3.07. Some spots I saw $3.13, which, wasn't bad. I was obviously going to the ones that was $3.05.
Yeah.
And there's this one right off the highway that when I get to where my mom's is, that was $3.05. I used to go there all the time. I was gone for 2 days. It was $3.40.
Oh my God.
From $3.05. And I'm seeing all the other ones around me get higher. I'm like, it's so good. $3.05 to $3.40.
That's huge.
And then, I don't know, the prices are so high right now, like $3.19, $3.40, $3.50. I saw one the other day. I don't remember if it was when I went to Six Flags in New Jersey or if it was in the city, but it was like $4 something.
Oh, I haven't seen $4.
And it's a lot.
That's crazy.
And I saw a post the other day that California right now is the first state that has the highest gas prices, starting at $7. $7 a gallon? That's $100 when you're filling up your gas tank.
Oh my God.
That has to be. Because right now,
I would just walk. The weather's nice over there. I would just walk.
That's what I've been thinking, because I'm like, I know I drive my car, so my house is literally right across the street from my job in Long Island. Like, not directly, but I could walk it. It's like a 10-minute walk. I could do it. But I'm anemic, and I use that as an excuse.
It's cold to be walking.
It's freezing. I have to bundle up to then going to work to unbundle. But you know what? I should not drive my car so I can save my gas a bit after the long commutes I do every week. But I'm also very late all the time, so yeah. I need my car to get me there faster. But these gas prices are different. And I just remember the days when to fill up my gas tank for my hoop fee was $20. Maybe if the gas prices went up for a little bit, like $25, but that was nothing. How about you?
Right. Before pandemic, fill it up $25, $30, now like $40. So like a $10 increase in a year, which is...
I remember the days when gas was just so cheap. I remember the lowest I paid for my gas was $15. And that's when the pandemic first hit.
Yeah.
That's when the gas prices really dropped. Remember, it was like $2 or something. So good.
Yeah, so gas prices have decreased all over, not just here in New York, California, but every state has been suffering. Mm-hmm. And people may ask why that is, and they want to blame Biden, as you've seen in the gas station. So what I found in an article is that according to AAA, the increased cost of crude oil, the organization of the petroleum exporting countries, Russia and other allies, are playing a role as why we have these high gas prices. So when the pandemic first started, the demand for gas decreased because everybody's at the crib, quarantine, and in response to that, oil companies started to decrease production, so they weren't producing that much gas, and then laid off mad people as well. And now with everybody being outside again,
we outside.
a year later, like the demand for gas has increased, and it's not at the same the production at the same level. It's still like the way it was, how they cut it down from last year. So right now they're trying to gradually do it, but they can't just like, move fast real quick. That's not how
it works. You know, that's like a customer telling me, "Oh, I ordered shoes for pickup. Can I just take it and go?" No, that's not how it works. You have to wait for me to get the paperwork and put it in the system, okay? Like, it's not the same, but it is the same. You get it. But I didn't even know that. Like, when I was reviewing the document, I didn't even see that part. So that's why I'm truly surprised by it. But I don't know why the gas prices were so high. I generally was thinking that there was a gas shortage, like maybe there was not enough oil or something anymore. But it's like oil
does happen before we have like gas shortages, but
yeah, that's because they have a lot of gas. They have a lot of oil leaks in the freaking ocean. That's why, which is so painful. Anyways, but I thought it was related to that. But it's good to know that it's, even though it's not good to know at the same time as people lost their jobs, but it is good to know that it's just because they laid off so many people and they were like, oh, things are gonna go back to normal that quick. So it's just they're just trying to go back to how things were prior.
It's something that's out of our control, and the oil companies did this because they wasn't making money. So obviously, if they wasn't making money, they're not gonna spend money trying to make oil and hire this person and that person if they ain't making money.
Nobody's using a car. Everybody, you know how many shows everybody's binge watching at that time? Were you binge watching shows? No, you were working still, right?
No, I don't know what was that.
Yeah, you see, we don't even know. Forget the question. Next! What's wrong? But yeah, because of this, I'm not gonna lie, because, you know me, I'm a big planet person and how we affect the earth, and it does bother me a bit that I'm driving so much now to the point where, like, I know my car definitely, I know my car affects the earth regardless just from driving it because of the carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all that into the atmosphere.
Or carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah, monoxide is the air that could be in your house that's toxic.
Yeah. So carbon dioxide that goes up into the atmosphere and all that stuff. So I know I'm definitely damaging, the earth. But then now every single week doing those long drives that I do, I'm like, yo. And then on top of that paying that gas, I'm like, yo. So now I'm trying to become a big baller with my minimum wage and give myself an electric car, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look, and I wrote that.
Yeah, I was talking to not anytime soon. Like, I know my next car that I want is a Honda Civic, but definitely when I get a salary, I would love to maybe consider getting a Tesla or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like Teslas are really nice, and just the electric cars in general. I've always thought they were so cool. Like, I thought they were just in the movies. But then now seeing them out and about is so like...
Yeah.
So that's fine.
And definitely like, as more people buy electric cars, there's going to be like more charging stations. Because I know around here, there's not that many like charging stations.
Some are like Quick Check. They have like some for the Teslas.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the long run. I don't think my next car would be electric.
Yeah, that's what I said. My Honda Civic is my next one. And then maybe 2 cars after. So, I don't know. Because here's the list of cars off topic. I want a Honda Civic, but I don't even want a Honda Civic. I just think it would be nice for me to have as like my early 20s. But the number one car I've always wanted is the Camaro. I think they're so fire. Ever since I was like, I was like, imagine meeting a female, a daddy walking around with a Camaro. And my dad used to always hype me up. He'd be like, yeah, you get that Camaro. Like, you walk out first, and I'll walk up the passenger side. I'm like, fine. So that's my goal. I want to get that car. A Tesla is definitely something to consider, especially if freaking gas is going to go up and down all the freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
But, any concluding thoughts of this?
Yeah, I don't even know what to say, because I feel like we just spoke a lot of negative stuff that's going on.
I mean, because it is.
It's reality.
Yeah. Like, there's generally no positive things that are coming from this besides people just trying to go back to normal. But even so, like, why go back to that normal when things honestly need to change?
Yeah, that's a fact, bro.
Period.
I'm gonna add that to the clip because that's a fact.
On this week's clip, here it is.
That's right. And we'll see what happens in the years to come.
We'll still be here. Yeah. It'll be season 10 by then. Maybe we'll see some progress.
Probably a slight, but they will change maybe a little bit, but it's never enough.
But it's always nice to see that there is some change somehow, some way in the earth and the world and with people. But we all know that we can still do better.
Yeah.
And these gas prices and the government with the cost of living can definitely do better.
Yeah.
They need to think about people as a whole.
I don't even know what would be a solution because
we need to invest in stocks. We need to start talking to the boys and how to do that because they do that stuff. No.
I have a few stocks. Yeah, they do that, but like I don't really know what I'm doing.
I did that too at one point. I did it for a month, and I got like $70, and then I stopped, and I don't know where that $70 went, but it's not on my account. So
yeah, I'm still investing into a few stocks. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Well, I guess maybe I am doing stocks right now, kind of. Not really, but my sneakers.
Oh.
Because I collect sneakers now, guys. So that's a source of income right there. I have like.
You gonna sell them?
I mean, yeah, once because their value goes up just like the stocks that they set.
Yeah.
So right now I have maybe $1,600 worth of shoes in my closet, and their value is only going up. So yeah.
Tuesday's election day.
Is it?
Yeah. If you want to see change in your local community, vote on Tuesday.
Vote. A year ago, 2 days ago, I voted for the first time, and look at where we are now.
Yeah. So,
this sounds so bad. People are going to be like, yeah, Biden. But no, it's not that. But yeah, your vote does matter. Just like how you would vote on a silly poll on Twitter about things that, you know, have to do with your opinion, and regardless, at least you're voting for something that matters to you. And even if it doesn't matter that much to you, just know that it may affect somebody close to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, be a
and
good...
it's the community you live in, actually. It's not like the higher-ups, what people are voting for is like...
It's not like the presidential election.
Yeah, it's local
it's
people.
Like governors, mayors, representatives, stuff like that, you know? So... do that because it affects your taxes, your rent, what gets fixed in your community. Let's just say that you don't like the bumpy roads in your complex or your town or whatever. You vote for somebody who plans on fixing those roads, you know? Like, you know, do what you gotta do. So make sure you vote.
You said that at the same time.
Yeah, as we should. Alright, bye guys. See you guys next week.